Babes, and welcome to my book nook. If you're new around here, the name's Rainy. I'm an elementary music teacher, and I read a bunch of books about thriller, horror, fantasy, romance, nonfiction, like YA, all the things. So if you like that, stick around. Videos on Sundays, Wednesdays. Okay, anyway. Today is the one with my TBR game, my friend's show, the show with friends, themed TBR game where I pick TBR in a really weird and funky way. However, this month I have a crap ton of like videos that I have planned, fun video ideas, and I have a lot of books that already are on my TBR, and so I'm kind of just praying that the odds work out in my favor, and if they don't, I might have to switch things around a little bit because your girl can't read like 30 books when she's going back to work next week. Sad Sunday. Okay, but anyway, if you don't know how this game works, look and watch the first video. I have linked the playlist down below so that you can see future videos because we are on episode 8. Can't believe it already. And so basically, yeah, I'm going to do 5 rolls, get 5 prompts, and then do a lightning round of friends trivia. And if I get that right, then I don't have to pick another book, but it's either 5 or 6 books. Okay, but first, what we always do is talk about the books from last month that I picked and whether I read them. And so let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about the 6 books that I had to read for last month. I had to read The Girl in 6E by A.R. Tourette, and it is currently July 27th as I'm filming this, and I have not read this yet. But I am starting this today, so I will have finished it in time because I actually do want to read this. I was also supposed to read Jodi Picoult's Wish You Were Here, and I am still going to be reading this, but it did not work out for this month. But I already have a video planned that I am going to be reading this for, and I don't want to give away what the video is, but it's going to be coming up within the next 2 months, so I don't feel too bad about it because this book has been dedicated a slot to read for later. I was also supposed to read, which I don't have it on me right now, From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I am halfway through that currently. My goal is to finish it by the end of July. That also is going to be featured in a video coming very soon, so I will at least have 2 of those done. I was also supposed to read Pure and SC by Susanna Clark, and I haven't read that yet either, but I have 3 days, so I could get to it. If I don't have a video planned to do it in, but I could maybe make one work. So maybe. As far as Gothicana goes, I was supposed to read that as well. I have a video coming for that in August where I have already read that. So that one, or no, I haven't already read that. I am going to read that. The video is coming out in August. So I don't really feel as bad about this TBR because I feel like what's been happening is I'll pick these books and then I'll read other books and just not get to this list. And then I'm like, well, what's the point of this TBR? But when I was doing that this month, I was like, oh, I might not get to it in this month, like I thought. But I have a video planned so that I'm still going to get to it. So I feel like that's still accomplishing the goal. I feel like I also need to start picking books that I know I absolutely want to read really badly because I feel like I'm kind of doing that too. And my TBR game is not very conducive to that. So I'm also going to be working on that within this round. I feel like there was one more I was supposed to read and I am simply grasping at straws as to what it is. So if I go back and watch my TBR video and figure out what it was, I will come back and tell you whether I read it or not. Okay? So if you see another clip in a minute of me explaining what it is, then I went and did that. And if you don't, then that's the update. Okay, anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to start by rolling the dice, seeing what number I get, seeing whether I get fears and pet peeves for thriller and horror, ancient history for romance, literature for historical fiction and literary fiction, and it's all relative for sci-fi fantasy. And I'm going to remember to look at my YA shelves when I do this too, because I always forget that YA is not actually like on here as a category, and I might have to like add it in. All right, here we go. All right, 39 is in fears and pet peeves, thriller and horror. Thank goodness. I have a lot of those to get to this month, and it is a yellow. So let me grab my yellow cards. I'm trying to, whenever I use a card in the past couple months, I don't use it again until I've used up all of the yellows so that I get, or all the colors so that I get to use all of the prompts, and then I'll put them back in. So I don't have as many yellow prompts right now. All right, I got read from a male author. Interesting. All right, I will be back with a thriller from a male author. Okay, so this unfortunately didn't work out to read any of the books that I'd wanted to read because all the thrillers that I wanted to read were written by women. But this is on my bookshelf over here. That is like the books I really want to read super soon, and it's by a male author, and I just got it, and it's a new anticipated 2022 read. So I'm excited to read it, and that is The Island by Adrian McKinty. So this one says, let's see. It's by the same guy that wrote The Chain, and I haven't read that either, but I think I'm going to do an Adrian McKinty reading vlog soon, so I'll probably read both of them at the same time. So it says, after moving from a small country town to Seattle, Heather Baxter marries Tom, a widowed doctor with a young son and teenage daughter. A working vacation overseas seems like the perfect way to bring the family together, but once they're deep in the Australian outback, the jet-lagged and exhausted kids are so over their new mom. When they discover a remote Dutch island off limits to outside visitors, the family talk their way onto the ferry, taking a chance on an adventure far from the reach of iPhones and Instagram. But as soon as they set foot on the island, which is run by a tightly knit clan of locals, everything feels wrong. Then a shocking accident propels the Baxters from an unsettling situation into an absolute nightmare. When Heather and the kids are separated from Tom, they're forced to escape alone, seconds ahead of their pursuers. Now it's up to Heather to save herself and the kids. Even though they don't trust her, the bushland is filled with danger and the locals want her dead. Heather has been underestimated her entire life, but she knows that only she can bring her family home again and become the mother the children desperately need, even if it means doing the unthinkable to keep them all alive. This one sounds really good. It's going to be apparently a Hulu original series soon. I believe this is Ashley's Little Library's favorite thriller of the year. I don't know, but I'm super excited to read this. This has been on the list for a bit, so I'm happy that this is going to happen in August. All right, on to roll number 2. All right, 47 is Ancient History Romance, and it's a pink. Thank God I have a romance vlog that I wanted to do, and I really needed some romance in my life. So hopefully it works out that this is on that list. All right, oop, an orange prompt. Snuck its way in. Maybe that should be the orange prompt that I choose if I get an orange one for later. Who knows? All right, here we go. Read a book with a great first line. I like this. I'm going to go through the romances that I had picked for this vlog and then decide from there. Okay, so I read through a bunch of the romance on my most wanting to get to TBR to see what their first great line was, and they all kind of sucked, not gonna lie. And there were 2 that kind of were better than the rest, and so I'm gonna pick between the 2 of them. And so I'll read you both of them and we'll see if you agree with which one I picked. So this one is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and the first sentence is, the last time I attended a funeral, I ended up with a broken arm. Okay, interesting. I want to know how he got a broken arm at a funeral. Sure, but I mean, it's not the greatest. And then There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I've been wanting to read this for a hot minute. And this one says, I saw the headlines that a girl had been murdered on Ocean Beach, her body left floating in the ruins of the old Sutro Baths. So that's pretty interesting. Who is this, person that was murdered? Why were they murdered? I know this is about serial killers that are also I think in love with each other. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, out of the 2 of these, I'm going to pick There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, which I'm actually very excited to read. And I just saw that they have a special edition with snakes on the cover, and I might have to get that as well. But I only want to get that if I absolutely love this book, and I wanted to get to this duology sooner than later anyway, because I think the next one, I can't remember what it's called. There Is No Devil, I think is the second one. So yeah, I'm going to read this, and it says, I loathe Alistair Shaw. The city of San Fran thinks we're rival artists. In truth, we're predators battling for hunting ground. We never chased the same prey until the night we both laid eyes on Mara Eldridge. Shaw wants to use her as a pawn in his twisted game, and I'm fixated on her for a different reason. She makes me feel things I never thought I could feel. Want things I never wanted. Only she can make me lose control. I don't know if I should protect her at all costs or destroy her before she ruins me. Mara knows I'm no saint, but she has no idea she's dancing with the devil. So anyway, I'm very excited to read this, and I'm excited that it made it on its way to this TBR. So this is book number 2. We're going to move on to roll number 3. All right, so 29 is It's All Relative, which is sci-fi fantasy, which is a yellow, and I'm excited because I had a fantasy vlog that I wanted to do this month as well. So let me get my yellow prompt, and this might fall over. In fact, it's going to, so I'll have to fix that in a minute. All right, yellow, the prompt is read from a female author. Okay, great. I can definitely do that, and I'm going to pick a book that was already going to be in this vlog, so here we go. All right, I'm sorry you're going to have to hear the air in the background, but it's really hot right now in Florida, so we got to have the air on to survive, okay? And I'm doing a fantasy vlog where I'm going to be reading the beginning of 3 different series because I have a bunch of series on my shelf, and I haven't been committing to reading them, so I'm going to read them now. And so one of them is going to be A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I've been wanting to read this series for a while. I only own the first book because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. I've heard that some people really stan this series, and some people think it's garbage. And I've actually I've not read anything by V.E. Schwab yet. So this will be my first venture into her. Actually, that's a lie. I read Gallant, which was by her, and that was just all right. It was more middle grade than YA. Okay, but I'm excited. So this one says, welcome to Grey London, dirty and boring without any magic, with one mad king, George III. Then there's Red London, where life and magic are revered, and White London, a city slowly being drained through magical war down to its very bones. And once upon a time there was Black London, but no one speaks of that now. Officially, Kel is the Red Traveler, one of the last magicians who can travel between the worlds, acting as ambassador and messenger between the Londons in service of the Marish Empire. Unofficially, he's a smuggler, which is a dangerous hobby for him to have, as proved when he stumbles into a setup with a forbidden token from Black London. Fleeing into Grey London, Kel runs afoul of Delilah Bard, a cutpurse with lofty aspirations, who first robs him, saves him from a dangerous enemy, and then forces Kel to spirit her to another world for a proper adventure. But perilous magic is afoot, and treachery lurks at every turn. To save all of the worlds, they'll first need to stay alive. I started reading this right when I bought it a couple months ago, actually no, a year ago, and I got to like chapter 2 and I was actually really enjoying it, and then I just kind of fell off the radar, so I'm definitely going to have to restart this one, but I am excited to read it and see if this trilogy is for me potentially or not. Alright, roll 4. Alright, 42 is another Fears and Pet Peeves thriller and horror, and it is a pink again. So, let me get out my pinks. My soda's in the way. Alright, shuffle, 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 shuffle. Shuffle your music. Okay, so I have to go onto my Spotify. I have to press shuffle. And then whatever song ends up, it has to either have it in the title, or there has to be some lyric, or like a book that I think of when I think of this song. It's going to be a fun one. Okay, so I'm going to screen record it and put it on the screen so that you can see which one I picked, and then I will talk it through after I do that. Okay, so I'm very sad because I just saw the word love and didn't remember that I was supposed to pick a thriller and horror, and picked a book that I was beyond excited to read and had this whole spiel for you, and then realized that I was supposed to pick thriller and horror. I still didn't really pick thriller horror for this because Where's My Love? There was no thriller book I had that had the word love in it, like in the title. And like most thriller and horrors don't focus on the love aspect because it's a thriller and horror. So I kind of went a little off the tracks with this. It's still psychological, but it's labeled a psychological fiction, not technically thriller and horror. But we're going to go with this. And I'm not even fully sure if I know why I picked this. It just fit the vibes, you know? Anyway, so this one is about, let's see, 2000, bright, ambitious, and yearning for adulthood, 15-year-old Vanessa Y. becomes entangled in an affair with Jacob Strain, her magnetic and guileful 42-year-old English teacher. 2017, amid the rising wave of allegations against powerful men, a reckoning is coming due. Strain has been accused of sexual abuse by a former student who reaches out to Vanessa, and now Vanessa finds herself facing an impossible choice. Remain silent, firm in the belief that her teenage self willingly engaged in this relationship, or redefine herself in the events of her past. But how can Vanessa reject her first love, the man who fundamentally transformed her and has been a persistent presence in her life? Is it possible that the man she loved as a teenager and who professed to worship only her may be far different from what she has always believed? I've heard this book is incredibly beautiful and incredibly heart-wrenching, and I'm really excited to get to it. So like I said, this might not necessarily hit the prompt, but like the song is like all about like, where's my love? It's like cold, like has it run away? Like it just sounds like a love. That video just cut off while I was filming. Anyway, like it just kind of, the song kind of just sounds like maybe a love that's like kind of cold, kind of broken down, like not a fundamentally like right kind of love, because it says stuff like my love is cold, why did it run away? Like it just feels like that kind of love would be what would be in this book. So we're just gonna go with it. I'm very excited this made it onto the TBR because I'm just so excited to finally read this. All right, roll 5, finally. 28, once again, is a thriller and horror, so I'm just reading all of those. But it's a blue prompt, finally. I feel like I don't ever get blue, although maybe I do because I actually don't have that many blue cards left. The most I have is green and orange, actually, so apparently I never get those colors, but it is what it is. Okay, here we go. Blue. All right. Read a book based on a true story. I don't know if I have any of those in this thriller and horror thing, but I'll check. Okay, I'm gonna put that blue one back in the stack for now because honestly, I don't know if any of these thrillers were based on a true story. Like, they could have been influenced, but how am I gonna know that without reading, like, you know? So, like, I'm gonna come back to that one. So we're gonna pick a different blue one. All right, let's try again. Read a funny book. How is that you know what? We're picking a different one again. These are not funny. They're thriller and horror. They're not funny, okay? One more try. Blue, you are like letting me down today. Read a book you were supposed to read in school but did not. That does not lend itself to the thriller horror genre. It'll make you read thriller and horror. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna kill these blue prompts. Last attempt. Read a short story collection. Do I even have a thriller short story collection? Is there one I could get? Let me take a gander. Okay, so I didn't have any on my shelf, but I looked on my Goodreads TBR to see if there were any that were in my list that I wanted to get soon. And there was one, and it was Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. And I've been wanting to read that for a minute. Apparently it's a mixture of like weird body, like short stories, like a girl with bells for eyes and like all this other stuff. And I checked my local library and they have one on that is available right now. And so I pressed it on hold so I can get shipped over to my library. So I should have it in the next day or two. So yes, I'm going to read that for this prompt. I'm going to read a bunch of horror short stories. I've been wanting to read from her anyway. I've also been wanting to read her like memoir, like fiction called like In the Dream House. So I'm really excited to get to this. I was going to look on Pengo, but I figured I'll just get it from the library because I don't really like to buy short story collections unless I know I'm going to enjoy them, since that's not normally my favorite. So we'll go with Her Body and Other Parties for this prompt. Finally got one down. And now I'm going to do my friend's trivia and see if I can escape another roll. All right, I'm about to set my timer, and here, 30 seconds, go. Who revealed Ross's true feelings to Rachel? Phoebe. When asking Emily to move in with him, Ross actually did what? Oh, he gave her like a fake ring. What's the name of Joey's agent? Oh, Estelle. Monica's parents converted her childhood bedroom back into what? A weight room, I believe? And then what city does the show take place in? New York? But is that the city? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Here's how it goes. Chandler told her? Shit. He proposed. Oh, dang it. I almost said Mary. The name of Joey's agent is Estelle. A gym. Yes, a weight room. New York. Woo! I did it. I don't have to add another book today. I don't have to add another book. Oh, I did it. Damn it. I totally thought it was Phoebe, but now that I think about it, it was Chandler. You know, it's been too long since I've watched Friends again, so I need to restart it. In fact, I'm probably going to restart it tonight. Comfort show, you know, comfort vibes. Okay, but anyway, let's go show you the books that I'm going to be reading then for this haul only, minus Her Body and Other Parties. And then I will tell you what other books are actually on the TBR. Not all of them, because some are a secret. So minus Her Body and Other Parties, this is our stack of books for August. So we have The Island by Adrienne McKinty, There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I'm super excited. It doesn't look like that crazy of a stack. Oh, and Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. So yeah, I'm super excited to get to this soon. And now I'm going to talk through books that I'm reading for book clubs and all sorts of other things. So let me get my list and we'll get started. Okay, a couple of the book club books I don't have yet because I haven't bought them yet, but I know for the Literally Dead book club for Kayla from Books and Lala, we are reading What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, and I haven't read any books of hers yet, and I'm really excited to get to do so soon. But I've heard that that is a modern, I think, retelling of the House or the Fall of Usher, House of Usher, I think, by Edgar Allan Poe, and so I'm planning on reading that first, like that from Edgar Allan Poe, and then reading What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I have no idea what either are about, and I'm kind of going to go in blind, and I'm really excited. Plus, this cover is just super freaky deaky. So I'm going to be reading that for sure. Then for Gabby's book troop, we are reading Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. And I have never read a Jennifer Hillier yet. I am super excited to get to this. This is her newest one. And it says this one is about Paris Peralta. She's arrested in her own bathroom covered in blood, holding a straight razor. Her celebrity husband dead in the bathtub behind her. She knows she'll be charged with murder, but as bad as this looks, that's not what worries her most. With the unwanted media attention surrounding her, it's only a matter of time before someone from her long-hidden past recognizes her and destroys the new life she's worked so hard to build, along with any chances of the future. 25 years earlier, Ruby Reyes, known as the Ice Queen, was convicted of a similar murder in a trial that was a media sensation and riveted the nation. Reyes knows who Paris really is, and when she's unexpectedly granted an early release from prison, she threatens to expose all of Paris's secrets. Left with no other choice, she must finally once and for all confront the dark past she thought she had escaped, because the only thing worse than a murder charge is the dark personal history that Paris will do anything to keep hidden. So, super excited for that. I've been wanting to read this for a minute. I've been holding myself back from reading it, because I got it as a book of the month selection in June. Yeah. Okay, but I'm reading that for Gabby's book tree. Then for Katie Colson's Smut Salon, I can't remember if this is what it's called. I think it is. I'm reading Happy For You, I believe, by Celia Lasky, which in June I read Under the Rainbow by her, which is like a YA, like, LGBTQ contemporary novel, and I loved it. It was my biggest surprise of the month that I loved it that much, and so I'm super excited to read her new thriller. I think it's about two best friends and a murder at a wedding or something like that. I've heard that it's like really, really good, and like Gabby loved it, and what was it? Who else read it recently and loved it? I think Kayla from Books and Lala loved it. Like, everyone's really loving it, surprisingly, because she's like a way better author than people are giving her credit for. So I'm going to be reading Happy For You as well. Haley's book club, I have no idea what I'm reading yet. Haley Hughes, we haven't decided yet. So I'm just going to skip to the only other book club that I'm doing, and that is our local book club that I have in town, and we are reading Night Crawling. I can't remember who the author is, what it's about right now, so maybe I'll put up a little blurb of what it's about, but the cover looked really cool. I do have a copy of it somewhere. Oh yeah, oh wait, I have it right here. Night Crawling by Layla Motley. There you go. What is it about? Kiara and her brother Marcus are scraping by in an East Oakland apartment complex optimistically called the Regal High. Both have dropped out of high school, their family fractured by death and prison. But while Marcus clings to his dream of rap stardom, Kiara hunts for work to pay their rent, which is more